The Nile River was the lifeline of ancient Egypt. Flowing from deep within Africa, it brought life to the parched desert. Without the Nile, there would be no Egypt as we know it. The river provided everything the people needed. Water for drinking and farming was essential. The fertile soil, enriched by the Nile's annual flood, allowed farmers to grow crops. The Nile also served as a highway, connecting people and places. Boats laden with goods traveled up and down its length. This easy communication helped to unify the country. The Egyptians recognized the Nile's importance and worshipped it as a god. Around 6000 BCE, people in the Nile Valley began to change their way of life. Instead of hunting and gathering, they started farming. This change, known as the Neolithic Revolution, had a profound impact. People learned to cultivate crops like wheat and barley. They domesticated animals like cattle, sheep, and goats. With a stable food supply, the population grew. Small villages sprang up along the Nile's banks. These early settlements were the building blocks of Egyptian civilization. People lived in simple houses made of mud brick. They developed tools and pottery, showing their increasing skill. Over time, these villages grew larger and more complex. They evolved into distinct regional cultures. Two of the most important were the Naqada culture in the south and the Badarian culture in the north. These cultures developed their own unique pottery styles and burial practices. Competition for resources and land sometimes led to conflict. However, there was also cooperation. Trade flourished between the different regions. Gradually, powerful leaders emerged. They controlled larger territories and commanded armies. This set the stage for the unification of Egypt. Around 3100 BCE, a powerful king named Narmer emerged from Upper Egypt. He conquered Lower Egypt, unifying the two lands under his rule. This event marked the beginning of the Early Dynastic Period and the birth of unified Egypt. Narmer's victory is depicted on the famous Narmer palette. This artifact shows him wearing both the white crown of Upper Egypt and the red crown of Lower Egypt. This symbolized his control over the entire country. Narmer established a capital city at Memphis near the border of Upper and Lower Egypt. He laid the foundations for a strong, centralized state ruled by pharaohs. The pharaoh was considered to be both a king and a god, holding absolute power. The unification of Egypt under Narmer was a pivotal moment in history. It paved the way for the development of one of the world's most enduring civilizations. The Old Kingdom is a period in ancient Egyptian history. It lasted from around 2686 to 2181 BC. This period is considered the Age of the Pyramids. It was a time of great prosperity and stability in Egypt. The pharaohs held absolute power. They were considered to be living gods. The Old Kingdom was a time of great cultural achievement. The Egyptians made significant advancements in art, architecture, and engineering. They developed a hieroglyphic writing system. They also created a complex religious system. The Old Kingdom was a time of great power for the pharaohs. They controlled all aspects of life in Egypt. They commanded a large workforce. This workforce built the pyramids and other monumental structures. The Old Kingdom was a golden age for Egypt. However, it eventually came to an end. Pharaoh Djoser ruled Egypt from 2686 to 2649 BC. He is known for his innovative tomb. It was the Step Pyramid at Saqqara. This pyramid was a revolutionary architectural achievement. It marked the beginning of large-scale stone construction in Egypt. Before Djoser, Egyptian tombs were mastabas. Mastabas were rectangular structures made of mud brick. Djoser's chief architect, Imhotep, designed a new type of tomb. It was a step pyramid. Imhotep stacked 6 mastabas on top of each other. Each one was smaller than the one below it. The step pyramid was a major departure from traditional Egyptian architecture. It was the first monumental stone structure in the world. The step pyramid complex included a number of other buildings. There were temples, courtyards, and shrines. The complex was surrounded by a large wall. The Fourth Dynasty of Egypt, around 2575 to 2465 BC, marked the zenith of pyramid building. It is often regarded as the golden age of pyramid construction. This period witnessed the construction of some of the most impressive and enduring pyramids in Egyptian history. The pharaohs of this dynasty were obsessed with building pyramids. They saw these structures as their eternal resting places. The most famous pyramid of the fourth dynasty is the Great Pyramid of Giza. It was built by Pharaoh Khufu. The Great Pyramid is a testament to the engineering skills of the ancient Egyptians. It is made up of over 2 million stone blocks. Each block weighs an average of 2.5 tons. The pyramids of the fourth dynasty were not just tombs. They were also symbols of the pharaoh's power and wealth. The construction of a pyramid was a massive undertaking. It required the labor of thousands of workers. The pyramids of the fourth dynasty are a lasting legacy of the Old Kingdom. They continue to inspire awe and wonder today. Section 4, Beyond the Pyramids, Life in the Old Kingdom. The Old Kingdom was much more than just pyramids. It was a time of great cultural and technological advancement. The pharaoh was the absolute ruler. He was considered to be a living god. He controlled all aspects of life in Egypt. The Egyptian government was highly centralized. The vizier was the pharaoh's most important official. He oversaw all aspects of government. Egyptians believed in many gods and goddesses. Ra, the sun god, was the most important god. He was seen as the creator of all life. The Egyptians developed a hieroglyphic writing system. It was used to record their history, beliefs, and daily life. Art and architecture flourished during the Old Kingdom. The Egyptians developed a distinctive artistic style. It emphasized order, balance, and harmony. Section 5. The Setting Sun. End of the Old Kingdom. The Old Kingdom came to an end around 2181 BC. There were a number of factors that contributed to its decline. One factor was the immense cost of building pyramids. Another factor was the growing power of the nomarchs. Nomarchs were provincial governors. The pharaohs of the Old Kingdom were obsessed with building pyramids. These pyramids were incredibly expensive to build. They required the labor of thousands of workers. They also required vast amounts of resources. Over time, the cost of building pyramids drained the Egyptian treasury. This weakened the pharaoh's power. The nomarchs gradually gained more power and influence. They began to challenge the pharaoh's authority. This led to a period of instability and civil war. The Old Kingdom collapsed. Egypt entered a period known as the First Intermediate Period. The Old Kingdom was a time of great achievement in ancient Egyptian history. However, the Old Kingdom eventually came to an end. It was followed by a period of decline and instability. The Old Kingdom, a period of centralized rule and monumental pyramid building, came to an end around 2181 BCE. This ushered in a new era known as the First Intermediate Period. It was a time marked by significant political fragmentation and social upheaval. The once powerful pharaohs of Memphis lost their grip on the unified kingdom. Provincial governors, called nomarchs, began asserting their independence. With this loss of central authority, Egypt splintered into numerous smaller regions. These regions were each ruled by competing local rulers. This period, spanning roughly 150 years, was characterized by instability and frequent conflicts between these regional powers. The First Intermediate Period was a stark contrast to the preceding Old Kingdom. It was a time of uncertainty and change. Despite the turmoil, the First Intermediate Period was not without its developments. The weakening of central authority had an unexpected consequence. It allowed regional identities and artistic expressions to flourish. This period witnessed the emergence of distinct artistic styles and literary themes. These reflected the unique perspectives of the different regions. The First Intermediate Period was a time of both decline and innovation. It laid the groundwork for the reunification of Egypt and the rise of a new era of power and prosperity under the Middle Kingdom. The First Intermediate Period stands as a testament to the cyclical nature of Egyptian history. It demonstrates the ebb and flow of power and unity that would characterize much of its long and rich past. The First Intermediate Period, despite its political fragmentation, witnessed a remarkable flourishing of regional art and culture. Freed from the rigid artistic conventions of the Old Kingdom, Local workshops and artisans developed their own distinctive styles. This led to a period of artistic experimentation and innovation. Tomb paintings from this era, for instance, exhibit a greater degree of freedom and naturalism in their depiction of daily life and the natural world. Scenes of agriculture, hunting, and family life became more commonplace. They offered a glimpse into the lives of ordinary Egyptians. This marked a departure from the more formal and idealized representations of earlier periods. In literature, the first intermediate period saw the emergence of new genres such as the instructions texts. These texts, often written as advice from a father to his son, offered moral guidance and practical wisdom for navigating the turbulent times. One of the most famous examples is the Instructions of King Amenemhat, a work attributed to the founder of the 12th dynasty. It reflects on the themes of kingship, justice, and the fragility of power. The artistic and literary achievements of the first intermediate period underscore the resilience of Egyptian culture. Even in times of political upheaval, artistic creativity not only endured, but thrived. This era serves as a reminder that periods of fragmentation and change can also be times of great cultural dynamism. It is a testament to the enduring human spirit and its ability to adapt and create even in the face of adversity. Around 2055 BCE, a powerful ruler named Mentuhotep II emerged from the southern city of Thebes. He would change the course of Egyptian history. Mentuhotep II embarked on a series of military campaigns that would eventually bring an end to the first intermediate period. He sought to reunite the two lands of Egypt, Upper and Lower, under his rule. After years of conflict, Mentuhotep II succeeded in defeating his rivals and consolidating his control over all of Egypt. This victory marked the beginning of the Middle Kingdom, a new era of stability, prosperity, and cultural achievement. Mentuhotep II's reunification of Egypt was a watershed moment. Recognizing the importance of unifying the country both politically and symbolically, Mentuhotep II established Thebes as the new capital of Egypt. This move shifted the center of power southward and ushered in a period of Theban dominance that would last for centuries. Mentuhotep II's reign marked a return to a strong, centralized government. Mentuhotep II's legacy extended beyond his military achievements. He initiated a building program that revived many of the traditions of the Old Kingdom. He commissioned new temples and monuments, including his own unique mortuary complex at Deir el-Bahari. This complex, with its innovative design and integration into the surrounding landscape, reflects the renewed sense of order and stability that characterized the early Middle Kingdom. The Middle Kingdom, spanning from roughly 2055 to 1786 BCE, stands as a period of remarkable resurgence and prosperity in ancient Egyptian history. Following the reunification under Mentuhotep II, Egypt entered an era of stability, economic growth, and artistic flourishing. The Middle Kingdom was a time when Egypt reasserted itself as a major power in the ancient Near East. Pharaohs of the 12th dynasty in particular played a pivotal role in shaping the character of the Middle Kingdom. Amenemhat I, who founded the dynasty, moved the capital north to a new site near Memphis called Ichtavi. This strategic location gave him greater control over both Upper and Lower Egypt. Amenemhat I also implemented administrative reforms to strengthen the central government and curb the power of the nomarchs. The Middle Kingdom witnessed a renewed focus on agriculture and large-scale irrigation projects. These projects, like the development of the Fayum Oasis, significantly increased the amount of arable land. This led to agricultural surplus and economic prosperity. Trade networks were expanded, bringing wealth and luxury goods from Nubia, the Levant, and the Aegean. This period also witnessed a flowering of literature, art, and architecture. The Middle Kingdom saw the production of some of the finest examples of Egyptian literature, including the Tale of Sinuhe and the Instructions of Amenemope. These works explored themes of adventure, morality, loyalty, and the human condition. They continue to captivate readers today. The glorious reign of the Middle Kingdom eventually came to an end. Internal strife and weak rulers weakened the once powerful kingdom. The centralized government, which had brought stability and prosperity, began to lose its grip on the provinces. Nomarchs, the governors of different regions, became increasingly independent. They challenged the pharaoh's authority. As the pharaoh's control diminished, so did Egypt's defenses. The once secure borders became vulnerable to outside forces. Among these forces were a group known as the Hyksos. They would forever alter the course of Egyptian history. The Hyksos saw an opportunity in Egypt's weakness. They were ready to seize it. The decline of the Middle Kingdom was a gradual process. It was a far cry from the sudden collapse of the Old Kingdom centuries earlier. However, the consequences would be just as profound. Egypt was about to enter a new era. It would be an era of foreign rule and internal conflict. It would be known as the Second Intermediate Period. The Hyksos were a mixed group of people. They originated from Western Asia. They gradually migrated into Egypt's eastern delta region. The Hyksos were not a unified force with a single leader. They were more like a loose confederation of tribes and groups. They were drawn to Egypt's wealth and fertile lands. The Hyksos did not conquer Egypt in a sudden, overwhelming invasion. Instead, they gradually infiltrated the delta region. They took advantage of the weakening central authority. The Hyksos settled in the delta. They began to exert their influence over the local population. They adopted Egyptian customs and beliefs. They even took on Egyptian names and titles. Despite their adoption of Egyptian ways, the Hyksos retained their distinct culture and identity. They introduced new technologies and ideas to Egypt. These would have a lasting impact on Egyptian society. The Hyksos' rule marked a turning point in Egyptian history. It was the first time that a foreign power had gained control of the Nile Valley. The Hyksos possessed superior military technology. This gave them a significant advantage over the Egyptians. Most notably, the Hyksos introduced the horse-drawn chariot to Egypt. This revolutionary weapon provided them with greater mobility and firepower on the battlefield. Egyptian soldiers, accustomed to fighting on foot, were ill-prepared to face this new form of warfare. In addition to the chariot, the Hyksos brought other military innovations to Egypt. These included the composite bow. This powerful bow, made from layers of wood, horn, and sinew, could shoot arrows much farther and with greater accuracy than the traditional Egyptian bow. Improved swords and daggers. The Hyksos introduced new metalworking techniques that allowed them to produce stronger and sharper weapons. Body armor. The Hyksos wore armor made of bronze scales or leather, providing them with greater protection in battle. These technological advancements allowed the Hyksos to establish a firm grip on northern Egypt. The Egyptians, slow to adapt to these new weapons and tactics, struggled to resist the Hyksos' advance. While the Hyksos consolidated their power in the north, a native Egyptian dynasty remained in control of the south. Ruling from Thebes, these kings refused to bow to the foreign rulers. They considered the Hyksos to be illegitimate usurpers. The Theban rulers viewed themselves as the true heirs to the legacy of the pharaohs. They were determined to one day reunite Egypt and drive the Hyksos out. However, the Theban rulers were initially in a weak position. The Hyksos controlled much of Egypt. They had superior military technology. The Thebans knew that they could not hope to defeat the Hyksos in open battle. Instead, they adopted a patient strategy of waiting and building up their strength. The Theban rulers bided their time, consolidating their control over southern Egypt and gathering resources. They knew that they would need to modernize their army and learn to counter the Hyksos' military advantages if they were to have any hope of victory. This period of division and resistance would prove to be a crucible for the Egyptian spirit, forging a new sense of national unity and purpose that would pave the way for the glorious era to come. As the Theban rulers grew in strength, tensions with the Hyksos inevitably rose. Seqenenre-Tao, a Theban king, took a more aggressive stance against the Hyksos. He realized that the time for passive resistance was over. Seqenenre-Tao began to challenge Hyksos authority. He initiated small-scale raids and skirmishes against Hyksos outposts. Seqenenre-Tao's actions were a clear sign that the Thebans were no longer content to simply coexist with the Hyksos. They were preparing for war. Although Seqenenre-Tao's reign was cut short under mysterious circumstances, his mummy shows severe head wounds likely inflicted in battle. He had sown the seeds of rebellion. His successors would continue his fight. Seqenenretao's defiance marked a turning point in the struggle against the Hyksos. It showed that the Hyksos were not invincible. It inspired future generations of Egyptians to fight for their freedom. Section 6. The warrior Pharaoh Kamosi and the push for freedom. Kamosi, Seqenenretao's successor, was a bold and decisive leader. He was determined to liberate Egypt from Hyksos rule. Kamosi launched a full-scale military campaign against the Hyksos. He led his armies north, winning several key victories. Kamosi's campaign was characterized by its ferocity and its ambition. He aimed not just to push back the Hyksos, but to drive them out of Egypt entirely. Kamosi was a brilliant military strategist. He understood the importance of propaganda. He used inscriptions and monuments to publicize his victories and rally the Egyptian people to his cause. Although Kamosi died before achieving his ultimate goal of expelling the Hyksos, his reign was a period of significant military success. He inflicted heavy losses on the Hyksos. He liberated a large part of Egypt from their control. Most importantly, he broke the myth of Hyksos invincibility. He paved the way for his successor, Ahmose I, to complete the liberation of Egypt. Section 7. The liberator Ahmose I and the dawn of a new era. Ahmose was Kamosi's brother, inherited the throne and his brother's mission. He would become known as the founder of the 18th dynasty. It was a dynasty that would usher in a golden age for Egypt. Ahmose I continued the war against the Hyksos with unrelenting determination. He learned from the military innovations of the Hyksos. He adopted their weapons and tactics. Ahmose I besieged the Hyksos capital of Avaris. After a prolonged siege, he finally captured the city. He drove the Hyksos out of Egypt, ending their century-long rule. Ahmose I pursued the fleeing Hyksos into Canaan. He wanted to ensure that they would never again pose a threat to Egypt. With the Hyksos vanquished, Ahmose I set about reunifying Egypt. He re-established control over the entire country. He laid the foundations for the new kingdom, a period of unprecedented power and prosperity for Egypt. Section 8. Echoes of a Struggle. The legacy of the Hyksos. The Hyksos period, although a time of foreign domination, had a profound impact on Egypt. It dramatically changed the course of Egyptian history. The Hyksos' introduction of new technologies, particularly the horse-drawn chariot, revolutionized warfare in Egypt. It forced the Egyptians to adapt their military tactics and strategies. The experience of foreign rule also had a lasting impact on the Egyptian psyche. It fostered a new sense of national unity and a determination to never again allow foreigners to rule over Egypt. The new kingdom pharaohs, determined to prevent another foreign invasion, implemented a more aggressive foreign policy. They expanded the borders of Egypt and created an empire that stretched from Nubia in the south to Syria in the north. The Hyksos period, although a time of turmoil and upheaval, ultimately served as a catalyst for change and innovation in Egypt. It led to the emergence of a stronger, more unified and more militaristic Egypt. It set the stage for the golden age of the new kingdom. Section 9. A New Egypt, the Rise of the New Kingdom. The expulsion of the Hyksos marked the beginning of the New Kingdom, a period of unprecedented power and prosperity for Egypt. The New Kingdom pharaohs, emboldened by their victory over the Hyksos, embarked on a series of ambitious military campaigns. They expanded the boundaries of their empire far beyond the traditional borders of Egypt. The New Kingdom was a time of great cultural and artistic achievement. Magnificent temples and tombs were constructed, literature and the arts flourished. The pharaohs of the New Kingdom, such as Thutmose III, Amenhotep III and Rameses II, are still remembered as some of the greatest rulers in Egyptian history. The legacy of the Hyksos period lived on in the New Kingdom. It served as a reminder of the importance of military strength and the dangers of foreign invasion. It also inspired the Egyptians to reach new heights of power and achievement. The New Kingdom, forged in the fires of resistance against the Hyksos, stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of ancient Egypt.
The New Kingdom was a time of great power for ancient Egypt. It lasted from about 1550 BC to 1070 BC. This period followed a time of weakness and foreign rule. The Egyptians drove out the invaders and reunited their land. They then built a strong empire that stretched far beyond their borders. The New Kingdom was a golden age for Egypt. The New Kingdom was marked by strong pharaohs. These rulers were ambitious and powerful. They wanted to expand Egypt's territory and influence. They also wanted to create a lasting legacy for themselves. They built grand temples and monuments. They also commissioned beautiful works of art. The New Kingdom was a time of great prosperity for Egypt. Trade flourished. New technologies were developed. Egypt became a center of learning and culture. The New Kingdom was a time of innovation and achievement. The Egyptians made significant advances in art, architecture, and literature. Hatshepsut was one of the few female pharaohs of Egypt. She ruled for over 20 years in the 15th century BC. Hatshepsut was a powerful and ambitious ruler. She is considered one of Egypt's most successful pharaohs. She dressed as a male pharaoh. She even wore a false beard. Hatshepsut focused on trade and economic prosperity. She launched successful expeditions to the land of Punt. This land is believed to be in modern-day Somalia. The Egyptians brought back valuable goods like incense, ebony, and gold. Hatshepsut used her wealth to fund ambitious building projects. She built temples, monuments, and obelisks. Her most famous building project is the temple complex at Deir el-Bahri. This complex is a masterpiece of ancient Egyptian architecture. Hatshepsut's reign was a time of peace and prosperity. She is remembered as a wise and effective ruler. Thutmose III was Hatshepsut's stepson. He became pharaoh after her death. He was a skilled military leader. Thutmose III expanded Egypt's empire through numerous military campaigns. He conquered lands in Nubia, Syria, and Canaan. He is known as the Napoleon of Egypt due to his military genius. Thutmose III was a brilliant strategist. He was also a courageous warrior. He personally led his troops into battle. His army was well-equipped and well-trained. They were victorious in almost every battle. Thutmose III's reign marked the peak of Egypt's military power. He secured Egypt's borders. He also gained access to valuable resources. He brought back great wealth and tribute to Egypt. Thutmose III was also a great builder. He expanded the Temple of Karnak. He also erected numerous statues and obelisks. He is remembered as one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs. Amenhotep IV was a pharaoh who ruled in the 14th century BC. He was a controversial figure. He initiated radical religious reforms. He wanted to change the traditional Egyptian religion. This religion worshipped many gods. Amenhotep IV declared that there was only one god, Aten. Aten was the sun disk. Amenhotep IV changed his name to Akhenaten. This means living spirit of Aten. He moved the capital of Egypt from Thebes to a new city called Akhetaten. Akhenaten's reforms were unpopular with many people. The priests of the old gods opposed him. The common people also resisted the changes. Akhenaten's reign was marked by turmoil and unrest. His religious reforms were short-lived. After his death, the Egyptians returned to their traditional beliefs. Akhenaten is a fascinating figure. He is a reminder that even powerful rulers cannot always force their will on the people. After Akhenaten's death, Egypt entered a period of restoration. The old gods were restored to their former glory. The temples of Amun-Re, the king of the gods, were rebuilt. The traditional priesthood regained its power and influence. Tutankhamun, Akhenaten's son, became pharaoh. He was a young boy. He reversed many of Akhenaten's reforms. He moved the capital back to Thebes. He also restored the traditional religious practices. Tutankhamun's reign was short-lived. However, he played an important role in restoring order to Egypt. The pharaohs who followed him continued to strengthen Egypt's power and influence. They rebuilt the temples and monuments that had been damaged during the Amarna period. They also expanded Egypt's empire through military conquests. The New Kingdom was a time of great artistic and architectural achievement. The Egyptians built some of their most impressive monuments during this period. They also created beautiful works of art. The temples of Karnak and Luxor are some of the most famous examples of New Kingdom architecture. These temples are massive complexes. They are filled with towering columns, colossal statues, and intricate reliefs. The Temple of Hatshepsut at Deir el-Bahri is another masterpiece of New Kingdom architecture. The New Kingdom also saw the development of a new style of art. This style was more naturalistic and expressive. The tomb paintings from this period are particularly impressive. They depict scenes from everyday life, as well as religious rituals and beliefs. The art and architecture of the New Kingdom are a testament to the skill and creativity of the ancient Egyptians. Archaeologists have uncovered a wealth of information about the New Kingdom. They have excavated tombs, temples, and cities. They have found countless artifacts. These artifacts include statues, jewelry, pottery, and tools. One of the most famous discoveries from the New Kingdom is the tomb of Tutankhamun. This tomb was discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter. It was virtually untouched. It contained a wealth of treasures. These treasures included Tutankhamun's golden mask, his chariots, and his throne. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb caused a worldwide sensation. It helped to revive interest in ancient Egypt. Archaeologists continue to make new discoveries about the New Kingdom. These discoveries are helping us to learn more about this fascinating period of Egyptian history. The New Kingdom was not an isolated civilization. Egypt interacted with other cultures during this time. Trade was an important part of the New Kingdom economy. The Egyptians traded with other peoples in the Mediterranean, the Near East, and Africa. They exported goods like grain, linen, and papyrus. They imported goods like gold, silver, ivory, and timber. The Egyptians also engaged in diplomacy with other kingdoms. They formed alliances. They also fought wars. The New Kingdom was a time of both cooperation and conflict between Egypt and its neighbors. The New Kingdom was a pivotal period in ancient Egyptian history. It was a time of great power, prosperity, and cultural achievement. The New Kingdom left an enduring legacy. It continues to fascinate people all over the world. The monuments and artifacts from this period are a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of the ancient Egyptians. The New Kingdom was a time of innovation and change. This was a time when Egypt's influence reached its zenith. It was a time of great pharaohs like Hatshepsut and Thutmose III. It was a time of religious upheaval under Akhenaten. It was a time of stunning artistic and architectural achievements. The New Kingdom was a golden age for ancient Egypt. It remains a source of wonder and inspiration today.
Ramses II was a pharaoh of Egypt. He ruled from 1279 to 1213 BC. This period was part of the New Kingdom. Ramses II is considered one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs. His reign was long and prosperous. He was a powerful king. He led many military campaigns and also built many temples and monuments. Ramses II wanted to be remembered forever. His impact on Egypt was significant. He expanded Egypt's borders and strengthened its economy. Ramses II left a lasting legacy. He is still remembered today as Ramses the Great. Ramses II was a skilled military leader. He fought many battles and expanded Egypt's territory. One of his most famous battles was the Battle of Kadesh. The Battle of Kadesh took place in 1274 BC. It was fought against the Hittites. The battle was a draw, however. Ramses II claimed it as a victory. After the Battle of Kadesh, Ramses II made peace with the Hittites. They signed a treaty. This treaty is the earliest known peace treaty in history. Ramses II was a prolific builder. He built many temples and monuments. He wanted to leave his mark on Egypt. One of his most impressive projects was Abu Simbel. Abu Simbel is a complex of 2 temples. They were carved into a cliff face. The temples are dedicated to Ramses II and his wife Nefertari. Another impressive monument built by Ramses II is the Ramesseum. This was Ramses II's mortuary temple. It was a grand complex. It celebrated his reign. Ramses II's successors were not as capable as him. Egypt faced many challenges. There were invasions and internal conflicts. The New Kingdom began to decline. Ramses III was a later pharaoh of the New Kingdom. He was a capable ruler. He fought off invaders. However, he could not stop the decline. After Ramses III's death, Egypt fell into disarray. The country was divided. This marked the beginning of the Third Intermediate Period. The New Kingdom was over. After the glorious New Kingdom, Egypt faced a difficult time. This period, from around 1070 to 664 BC, is known as the Third Intermediate Period. It was a time of political instability and division. The once united kingdom fragmented, with different rulers controlling various parts of the country. The decline of the New Kingdom pharaohs created a power vacuum. Different factions vied for control, leading to internal strife. Local governors asserted their independence, further weakening the central authority. This period saw Egypt struggle to maintain its unity and strength. The political fragmentation of Egypt attracted foreign powers. Libyans, who had long served as mercenaries in the Egyptian army, took advantage of the situation. They gradually gained control over parts of Egypt, establishing their own dynasties. Further south, the Nubians from the Kingdom of Kush also became influential. They had a long history of interaction with Egypt, both peaceful and conflict-ridden. Nubian rulers saw an opportunity to expand their influence during Egypt's weakness. Among the foreign powers that interacted with Egypt, the Kingdom of Kush emerged as a significant force. Located in present-day Sudan, Kush had a close relationship with Egypt for centuries. They adopted many Egyptian customs and religious beliefs. Over time, Kush grew in power and independence. They developed their own distinct culture while maintaining strong links with their northern neighbor. During Egypt's third intermediate period, Kush saw an opportunity to expand its influence and assert its power. In the 8th century BC, Kushite rulers made a bold move. They invaded Egypt, aiming to reunite the fragmented country and restore its former glory. King Pi, a powerful Kushite ruler, led the conquest, defeating his rivals and establishing the 25th dynasty. The Kushite pharaohs, often referred to as the Black Pharaohs, embarked on a period of restoration. They repaired temples, revived traditional religious practices, and attempted to bring back the stability of the past. Their reign marked a brief but significant period of unity and prosperity during a tumultuous era. Section 5. Assyrian ambitions. Egypt faces a new threat. The Kushite resurgence in Egypt did not go unnoticed. The Assyrians, a powerful empire in Mesopotamia, had their own imperial ambitions. They saw Egypt's wealth and strategic importance as a prize worth conquering. The Assyrians, under their ambitious rulers, launched a series of campaigns against Egypt. Their superior military technology, including iron weapons and effective siege tactics, posed a significant challenge to the Kushite pharaohs. Section 6. The fall of Kush, Egypt under foreign rule again. The Assyrian invasion marked a turning point in the third intermediate period. Despite their efforts to resist, the Kushite pharaohs were eventually defeated. The Assyrians sacked Thebes, the capital of the Kushite kingdom, in 663 BC, ending their reign in Egypt. The Assyrian victory had a profound impact on Egypt. It ushered in a new period of foreign rule, with the Assyrians establishing their authority over the country. However, their control was not absolute, and Egypt would soon face yet another foreign power vying for dominance. Section 7. Enduring influence. Egypt's cultural legacy. Despite the political turmoil and foreign invasions, Egypt's cultural influence remained strong. Throughout the third intermediate period, Egyptian art, architecture, and religious beliefs continued to inspire and captivate its neighbors. Egyptian artistic motifs and architectural styles continued to be emulated in Nubia and other parts of the ancient world. This cultural exchange demonstrates the lasting legacy of Egyptian civilization, even during periods of political weakness. Section 8. Religious reverberations. Egypt's gods beyond borders. Egypt's religious beliefs also continued to resonate beyond its borders during the third intermediate period. The worship of Egyptian gods and goddesses such as Amun, Isis, and Osiris spread to other cultures. The enduring appeal of Egyptian religious beliefs is a testament to their adaptability and the universal themes they addressed. It highlights the profound impact of Egyptian civilization on the spiritual landscape of the ancient world. Section 9. Conclusion. A time of change and continuity. The third intermediate period was a time of profound change and upheaval for ancient Egypt. Political fragmentation, foreign rule, and the rise and fall of empires marked this era. However, it was also a time of cultural and religious continuity. Egypt's cultural influence remained strong as its artistic styles, religious beliefs, and architectural achievements continued to inspire its neighbors. The third intermediate period, though turbulent, demonstrates the resilience of Egyptian civilization and its lasting legacy. The late period in ancient Egypt was a time of change. After centuries of strong pharaohs, Egypt faced challenges from within and outside. But even as other empires rose, Egypt did not disappear. It began a new chapter known as the Saite Renaissance. This period, starting around 664 BCE, saw a resurgence of Egyptian culture and power. Imagine a wilted flower suddenly regaining its strength and color. The Saite kings, hailing from the city of Sais in the Nile Delta, were like gardeners tending to a neglected garden. They wanted to bring back the glory of Egypt's past. They focused on reviving art, architecture, and religion in the traditional Egyptian style. Think of them restoring a magnificent ancient temple, carefully putting each stone back in its place. The Saite Renaissance wasn't just about looking back, though. It was about using the past to make Egypt strong again. This meant building a strong army and making alliances with other kingdoms. The Egyptians knew they had to be prepared for whatever the future held. One of the most important Saite pharaohs was Psamtik I. He was like a skilled general leading his troops to victory. Psamtik I defeated the Assyrians who had controlled Egypt for a time. He pushed them out and reunified the country under his rule. Can you imagine the celebrations as a new pharaoh, a true Egyptian, took the throne? Psamtik I wasn't just a warrior, though. He was also a shrewd ruler who understood the importance of trade and diplomacy. He opened up Egypt to trade with the Greeks and other Mediterranean peoples. This brought in wealth and new ideas. Imagine bustling Egyptian ports filled with ships from distant lands, their sails full of wind. Other pharaohs like Necho II continued Psamtik's work. They built new temples and monuments, further restoring Egypt's former glory. They also tried to expand Egypt's influence in the region. For a time, it seemed like Egypt might regain its place as the most powerful kingdom in the Near East. However, danger lurked on the horizon. Just as a storm gathers on a clear day, new threats emerged from the east. The Babylonian Empire and then a rising power called the Persian Empire began to cast their shadows over Egypt. The Babylonians, led by King Nebuchadnezzar II, were the first to threaten Egypt's resurgence. They attacked several times but never managed to conquer the whole country. Imagine the fear that gripped the Egyptians as news arrived of Babylonian armies marching across the desert. Even though the Egyptians were able to hold off the Babylonians, the constant fighting weakened them. This made them vulnerable to the Persians, who were even stronger and more determined to conquer Egypt. The Persians, under their king Cyrus the Great, had already conquered a vast empire. They had their sights set on Egypt as the ultimate prize. The final confrontation came in 525 BCE, when the Persian king Cambyses II, son of Cyrus the Great, led his armies into Egypt. The Egyptians fought bravely, but the Persians were too strong. They crushed the Egyptian army at the Battle of Pelusium, and Cambyses claimed Egypt as part of his vast empire. Imagine the despair of the Egyptians as they watched their homeland fall to a foreign power. Cambyses became pharaoh of Egypt, but he ruled as a conqueror, not a liberator. He imposed Persian customs and laws on the Egyptians. Some Egyptians resisted, but many others learned to live under Persian rule. They continued to practice their religion, speak their language, and preserve their culture, even within the framework of the Persian Empire. The Persian conquest marked the end of the late period and the last time an Egyptian pharaoh ruled the land. Egypt would remain under foreign rule for centuries to come. But even under Persian rule, the spirit of the Egyptians remained strong. Their culture continued to thrive, a testament to their resilience and adaptability. The story of the late period is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit, like the Nile River itself, finds a way to flow on. Alexander the Great conquered Egypt in 332 BCE. He established Alexandria as a new capital. Alexandria quickly became a vibrant center of culture and scholarship. The city's bustling streets and thriving port attracted scholars, merchants, and artists from across the ancient world. The Library of Alexandria, a marvel of its time, housed a vast collection of scrolls and attracted the finest minds. It became a symbol of knowledge and learning. Another wonder, the Pharaohs lighthouse, guarded the harbor with its towering presence. This architectural masterpiece guided ships for centuries. These achievements solidified Alexandria's status as a leading center of knowledge and innovation. The fusion of Greek and Egyptian traditions created a unique and influential cultural blend. Alexandria thrived as a testament to the Ptolemaic dynasty's patronage of the arts and sciences. Cleopatra VII ascended the throne in 51 BCE. She was a shrewd diplomat and a skilled ruler. Cleopatra understood the importance of preserving Egypt's independence. She faced the growing power of Rome with a keen awareness of the political landscape. Cleopatra was the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic dynasty. She was renowned for her intelligence, charm, and multilingual abilities. Cleopatra embraced her role as the embodiment of the goddess Isis. She used this image to strengthen her authority and appeal to her subjects. Cleopatra's reign marked a pivotal moment in history. The future of Egypt hung in the balance as Roman influence grew. Cleopatra's strategic alliances and political acumen became crucial in navigating the treacherous waters of Roman politics. Cleopatra formed a strategic alliance with Julius Caesar. Their partnership was based on mutual ambition. This alliance granted her access to Roman military might. It helped secure her position as ruler of Egypt. After Caesar's assassination, Cleopatra aligned herself with Mark Antony. They shared a deep affection for each other. Cleopatra bore Antony 3 children. Their alliance, however, was perceived as a threat by Rome. Octavian, Caesar's heir, saw their growing power as a direct challenge. He skillfully manipulated the Roman Senate. They declared war on Cleopatra, falsely accusing her of treachery. The Battle of Actium in 31 BCE marked a turning point. Cleopatra's forces were defeated. This defeat sealed the fate of Egypt, ending centuries of independence. Cleopatra's death in 30 BCE brought an end to the Ptolemaic dynasty. Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. The once powerful kingdom was now under Roman control. Cleopatra's story, however, continues to fascinate and inspire. She remains a subject of endless fascination in literature, art, and popular culture. She is remembered not just as a queen, but as a shrewd politician, a brilliant strategist, and a symbol of female empowerment. The Ptolemaic period, despite its end, left an indelible mark on history. The Library of Alexandria, though later destroyed, remains a symbol of the pursuit of knowledge. The Pharaohs lighthouse stands as a testament to the architectural and engineering prowess of the ancient world. Cleopatra's legacy, though intertwined with tragedy, serves as a reminder of the power of leadership, the complexities of history, and the enduring allure of ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt left a legacy unmatched in the ancient world. For over 3,000 years, they cultivated a vibrant culture. Egypt made incredible strides in art, science, and governance. The ancient Egyptians were pioneers in many aspects. Their achievements continue to fascinate and inspire us today. The remnants of this great civilization, from majestic pyramids to intricate hieroglyphics, offer a glimpse into a lost world. These timeless relics serve as a testament to their ingenuity and cultural sophistication. Their legacy continues to shape our world in countless ways. The pyramids of Egypt are perhaps their most enduring legacy. These colossal structures were feats of engineering. The pyramids were tombs for the pharaohs. They reflect the ancient Egyptians' beliefs about the afterlife. The Great Pyramid of Giza is a testament to their architectural prowess. It was the tallest man-made structure for centuries. The precision and sophistication involved in its construction continue to astound modern architects and engineers. These monuments continue to inspire awe and wonder in all who visit them. The development of hieroglyphic writing was another significant contribution. This elaborate system of writing was more than just a way to communicate. Hieroglyphics were an art form used to decorate temples and tombs. The Rosetta Stone, discovered in 1799, was instrumental in deciphering hieroglyphs. This discovery unlocked a wealth of information about ancient Egyptian culture, beliefs, and history. Through their writing, the ancient Egyptians left behind a rich tapestry of stories, beliefs, and knowledge. The legacy of ancient Egypt extends far beyond its monuments and writings. Ancient Egyptian contributions are evident in various fields. Their advancements in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine influenced later civilizations. Their artistic motifs, religious practices, and political ideas spread throughout the ancient world. Even today, the allure of ancient Egypt is undeniable. Archaeological discoveries continue to reveal new insights into this captivating civilization. The study of ancient Egypt remains a vibrant field, captivating scholars and enthusiasts alike.